Hello there, Jay here, and over the weekend I watched Minion: The Rise of Gru, a fun and enjoyable movie that kind of suppressed my expectation quite a bit. So today I'm going to take a different route with this review. I'm going to break down some of the major plot points that happen in the movie, and I'm going to give my thoughts on them individually. So there will be spoilers in this review, so if you really care about spoilers and you haven't watched the movie yet, go and watch the movie before watching this video. But if you already watched the movie or you don't care about spoilers, feel free to watch this video. The movie begins on the focus of the Vicious Six, the villainous faction of this movie. And while this movie is a Gru and Minions movie, I'm glad they started off the movie like this because the scenes with the Vicious Six, it sets the tone, it sets the stakes, and it builds up the things that is central to the plot of the movie, and I think it sets the tone of the rest of the movie pretty well. And then after the opening scene and the opening credit, we get a scene where Gru and Minions are just all about having fun and all of that. And this is just the entire movie in general. It's just fun, it's just enjoyable. Times where the joke didn't work or didn't land, of course there are, but for the most part, most of the humor in the movie works really well, in my opinion. As we see Gru being a villain fanatic, he goes to interview for the Vicious Six, his idols essentially, and here is where I feel a bit of a disappointment to say. No, I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, but a part of me wanted to see this, which was the reason why Gru admires villainy, a reason why Gru admires and looks up to them so much and wants to be one. Maybe it's just me, but of course we didn't need to see that. I mean, part of me wanted to see that, but even if they didn't do that, it didn't show that, it's alright with me. I'm just saying that maybe Gru would be more relatable if we did get to see the reasoning behind his idolization of villains. As we seen from the teaser trailer that they put out, the interview goes wrong and Gru steals the Zodiac Stone, and he managed to get away only for Otto to ruin it by exchanging the stone for a pet rock. And up to this point, I feel that the movie had a steady pace. It wasn't taking its time too long. It was just moving at a pace where it feels pretty alright, like somewhere in the middle. And from the point where Gru get kidnapped, the movie started to move much faster. After Otto messed up with the Zodiac Stone, Gru gets angry and fires the minion, and he decides to go after the stone himself right before Knuckles kidnap him because he wants the stone too, and he knows Gru have it, or Gru have it. And then the minions, specifically Kelvin, Swart and Bob, goes and try to rescue Gru. Then we have Otto, who really wants to help, feeling really bad that he messed things up so bad. But the other minions didn't really want his help after what he's done, so he kind of goes on his own quest there. So at this point of the movie splits itself into multiple subplots and plot lines. And despite the short runtime and the many subplots this movie divided itself into, I feel that they managed to balance things out quite well. Not perfect, definitely, but it managed to put more focus on the main plot lines while not letting a subplot lines take over the main plot lines. And I think that is a good thing that they did with this movie, because this movie could have easily been a mess in terms of focus, and it didn't. So that's good. Back to the story, I'm going to talk about one of the most funniest scenes in the movie, which was the airplane sequence. I personally enjoyed a lot out of the scene where Stuart and Kevin tries to fly a plane and they successfully flies it and landed it. Well, more like a chaotic success, but this did succeed. But I'm sure that some people will say that it's not realistic, it's ridiculous, it's not possible, all sort of those words. And I would say that it's not the first time that we've seen these ridiculous thing in this franchise, and the franchise has already come to a point where it has its own world, its own logic to say that these things happens and we just goes along with it, and this is what makes these movies so fun. Like that's the fun factor of it, and I'm there for it, so I pretty much enjoy it a lot. So yeah, same goes for a lot of the funny elements in this movie, a lot of the unrealistic moments in the movie. Of course, I had to keep in mind that this is supposed to be that it is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be illogical, it's supposed to be unpredictable, and that's what makes the Minions, the Despicable Me movie so fun, in my opinion anyway. So next, the three minions finally reached San Francisco and they found this Kung Fu master that's teaching them Kung Fu. And at the same time, there's another plot line that is going on that actually surprised me, which was the plot line between Wild Knuckles and Gru. And that is where I felt that the movie started to have heart. I went into this movie like expecting just a fun movie. I didn't expect a heartfelt story from it. Not to say that the heart was really that much there, but there was some of it enough to make me somewhat emotionally connected to this movie. So for a good bit of the movie, it is just Gru and Knuckles getting to know each other, connecting there, going on heists together, Gru learning a thing from two from Knuckles, the central heart of the movie, I feel. And we have the minions learning Kung Fu, getting ready for the final fight. And we have Otto who is cycling for his life, getting through the death ready and meeting a biker, which I'll be honest, I thought the biker was the brother or someone related to the leader of the Vicious Six. Like I was convinced because they look quite similar, but guess I was overthinking. But yeah, that is just my theory while I was watching the movie. It all builds up to Chinese New Year in Chinatown, where the Vicious Six finds Gru and is about to literally tear him apart, and the minions come in to fight the Vicious Six with all these animal forms and the things they learn from learning Kung Fu. And we have Otto who comes in and saves the day, the unlikely hero. All quite stereotypical and quite generic to say the least, but it's fun. It was just fun, and the movie itself is aware of the fun factor, is aware that the ridiculousness of it is what makes it fun, and this movie did that well. So now this is a part where I wish that I didn't watch the trailer for the movie because the trailer spoiled a lot of things, and although it didn't affect my overall experience of the movie, I feel like if I didn't watch the trailers, I would be more surprised by the movie, to say. And I still was actually, and that was because of the bond between Wild Knuckles and Gru that makes that sacrifice much more emotionally felt. I mean, I did not like tear up or anything, but I did feel that emotional punch while watching it. Of course, it was a fake death in the end and all of that, but in the moment, it really shows how much of the heart that this movie has built in its short runtime. And we come to the end of this movie with Gru returning to the Vicious Six base, finding Dr. Nefario, and essentially this movie closes out the prequel story. We got the origin of the minions, we got the origin of Gru. We don't need more minion movies. So then if they are going to extend this franchise, let's focus on the present. Let's get Despicable Me 4 or some form of sequel if they really do want to continue the franchise. Of course, this is just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to have theirs. I would say though, if they have a decent story to be told, I wouldn't mind a third Minion movie as long as they have a decent story. But overall, I would say that this Minion movie is an improvement over the first one. It's more funny, it has more heart, it's more focused, and overall one of the better movies in this franchise. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. So what do you think about Minions The Rise of Gru? Did you like it as much as I did? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.